Well, I know many of the coaches have said this already, but thanks to all of you that are here. And one thing I want to point out with the coaches that are here, and this is my 4th year at this event, and kind of getting to know them through the years, is it always amazes me how the competition goes between the teams and the players and the coaches, but how much fun it is to actually work with them in our GPAC meetings and so forth. So continue to learn about more than football when working with these guys each and every year. So going into this season, we're really excited again, and we open camp 2 weeks from today, August 18th, which just leaves us 3 weeks short of our opening game, where we're coming back down here to play Nebraska Wesleyan, and I'll kind of get into that in a little bit. But we have some just one staff change, and that is our defensive line coach is going to be a player from last year, Dan Moe. He was an all-conference, I think, second-team all-conference player for us, and is doing a wonderful job coaching our defensive line. Otherwise, the whole coaching staff is intact. This year, our captains are T.J. Wynn, who's a junior, Eric Simple, and Brett Beechner, who are seniors. Trevor Holloman is a junior on defense. Nick Benedetto and Tyler Newman are senior defensive backs. And these guys are wonderful leaders for us. They're going to have to take over and guide us as we lose some very, very important key guys from last season. Many of you know Chad Cavender and what he has done the last 2 years in our program, being National Player of the Year. I think the thing Chad also did from the quarterback position is just kind of was Mr. Even Keel. It didn't matter what was really going on, positive, negative. He was going to run the next play to the best of his ability. His temperament was the same each and every day in practice, and just worked extremely hard. Kind of coming in right now to fill his shoes is Lorenzo Brown. Lorenzo is out of Nyack over here in Mason City, and we feel really good about what Lorenzo can do. Athleticism is kind of the name of the game for him, but he throws the ball extremely well. I think the thing that you never know much about is, how is your relationship going to go with him when you're working with him throughout the season. But it seems that he's real eager to step in and lead this team, just like the past quarterbacks have at the University of Sioux Falls. Really a neat situation. Brett Beechner, who is going to be a 5th-year senior for us, was elected a team captain, and it's been nothing but great for our team and for Brett, and he's really ready to step in and do something if something would happen to Lorenzo. So we feel really good about the quarterback position on our team, even though we do lose the National Player of the Year. I guess if you ask me what our strengths are on the whole team, and I had to pick 2 positions, I would say the offensive line and our defensive backfield. And we really returned one guy that pretty much has a spot locked down, and that's T.J. Went. And a year ago, T.J. wasn't even with us entering fall camp, and was on our team as the season went on. But certainly a guy, as he was elected team captain, that we are really counting on to lead us. Physically, he's as impressive looking as he probably has ever been. And I think at the other 4 positions, we have 7 other guys competing for those spots. The way we look at it right now, we could potentially have an upgrade, I think, at every offensive line position from last year's team. And we really made a point to take care of that. I think that was something that kind of haunted us in the national championship game, the inability to run the ball, especially given the conditions that we were playing in. And we really want to make sure, no matter what the weather conditions are, we can kind of take care of business up front. Some of the guys filling in those positions are Sean Flanagan. Sean actually will be a senior this year, has been at Eastern Oregon, where he's named Honorable Mention All-American, and also the University of Oregon. Also coming to us is going to be Kyle Stout. Our quarterback, Lorenzo Brown, also teammates with Kyle at Nyack, was integral in getting him to the University of Sioux Falls. And there's some other key players that have been in our system really competing for some some spots there. Travis Bieber is a big offensive lineman, about 6'6", 6'7", 300 or about 285 to 290, and really works his tail off, and would like to see him kind of fitting into that offensive line as well. Our skill guys, we lose our tight end and Josiah Fenceroy, our first-team All-American. We lose our slot receiver and Trey Erickson, who also is our All-American punt returner. And so some questions are there. We really have about 7 guys, probably at the tight end position, that we are going to be looking at quickly to fill in for Josiah. And it might take all 7 to do that. We have a receiver that was moved to a tight end. We brought in another tight end, and then we have a couple freshmen and also some incoming, redshirt freshmen, also some incoming freshmen that will work to replace what we lost in Josiah. So that's going to be an important position for us to fill, as well as will be Trey. I think at wide receiver, the thing we'll have is we had 2 freshmen starting last year, and their first play on the field was as a starter, and Alex Anderson and John Ryan both had great years as redshirt freshmen, and really looking to kind of step up their game. We're going to ask more of them this year. Eric Simple, first-team All-Conference running back returns, as well as Ryan Lowmiller, who was second-team All-Conference. And so I think that kind of wraps up the offensive side of the ball. On defense, it's going to be important for us to come in and play very well. We do have a lot of new faces on offense, and Chuck Morrell and the consistency he's had on the defensive side of the ball as defensive coordinator, we're really expecting to have that be our strength again this year, and I think it really needs to be if you expect to go deep into the season. Key guys that we return are Nick Benedetto, defensive back, Trevor Holloman, who was an All-American as a sophomore, and a couple other guys will be competing for positions at corner with Andrew Schoenfelder and Cody Cavender, who were guys that got pretty much took the starting position on the other corner for the whole season. One guy we're really excited about coming into our program is Lavelle Jackson. Lavelle went to school at University of Nebraska-Omaha the last 2 years, and he'll come in and be a significant impact player for us in the secondary. Our linebacking core was all new last year, and this year they're all back. So we feel great about that. We actually brought in another outside linebacker in Marlon Loban, and Marlon's a special player. He'll play the outside backer, about 6'2", and I think he's down to about 240. So we're really excited about what he's going to bring to our defense and kind of securing that edge. Up front is going to be the position on defensive line where we lose the most players and significant players. Darren Quayle, Latarius Lee, Dan Moe, all those guys were key parts, key guys on our team last year. And we feel we got, again, a pretty good platoon system, but yet many of them weren't in that significant of a role a year ago at this time. So we'll really be anxious to see how they respond, and it seems like we have some guys that really want to get out on the field and do some good things for us there. Our kickers both return. Our punter, Drew Anderson, returns for his senior year, and our kicker, Matt Lincoln, returns for his senior year as well. He was an all-conference player a year ago. The last thing, I guess, just looking at the season and the way I kind of go about it is, you look at the result, and we were in a national championship game the last 2 years, but you kind of look back on the season, you realize each individual game and the importance that you placed on it and how that resulted in what type of team you had at the end of the year. And I think that's going to be, again, very important this season. I truly cannot tell you after, I think, week 2, what our season, who we play in what order. I know we are coming down here to play Coach Keller and his team, and that's first and foremost. We've had some battles down here, especially early in the year. His team is always ready to play, and we got to make sure we take care of week 1 before we take care of any other week. Is there any questions?
Your expectations, you won 63 of the last 64 conference games. You expect to run them all again?
I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but we do. And it happens one game at a time. And You know, there's great teams out there, and on any given day, this group right here can beat anyone. And, you know, that's the expectations we have, though. And we feel that playing in a national championship game each and every year is within our grasp. And if we're going to do that, we have to win those games.
Why do you think that is?
Why do we have to win them?
No, why do you feel like you should be in a national championship every year?
Well, I think we have very good players, and you know, as long as we do a good job of coaching them, and you know, they continue to want to get better each and every week. You know, we feel we have that caliber of a player and caliber of team.
All right, thank you.
Coach Thiele.